Welcome back to S.WigginsTV. I'm your host, Worldwide Wiggins, and I'm back with one of the new series on my channel called What? Just Like CALI, where we go from place to place, sometimes out of the United States, and we cover Bloods and Crips and other gangs where they banging just as hard as the motherland, Los Angeles, California. Today we gonna stay inside the United States. We not gonna leave the country today, man. But this gonna be a real good one, man. I like to shout out everybody who hooked me up with the info. I ain't got no long with the intro, so let's go. Alright, first up, shouts out to my boy, T Blue from Eagle Watch, Tug and Crip. You know what it is, homie. Much love. I appreciate you, cuz. I got you. Alright, unbeknownst to me, ALTADENA Block Crips got a hood in San Antonio, Texas, and they got a wild story about a young hitter from their turf. Check it out. But before we check it out, if you're not familiar with the ALTADENA Block Crips, well, they hood is located over there close to Pasadena in a city called ALTADENA. Despite they hood, being called Block Crips, okay, they gangster Crips, okay? They bang 3 times, the moving car, the gangster car. Just saying so you guys don't get it mixed up with another hood. Here's a story about a young hitter. When Edwin was 10 years old, he joined the ALTADENA Block Crips. He wore the Crips blue bandana, flashed gang signs, and spoke gang slang. He began selling bags of crack on the street corner called Jolly Time, which got its name because it was frequented by drug dealers. The other Crips called Edwin the baby gangster, and he loved it. I felt protected, he said. Even though he hadn't reached puberty yet, he gave hookers free dope in return for oral sex. He routinely packed guns, allegedly. He committed small-time robberies in his past, and he shot at a drug customer who ran off without paying. He went along with some other Crips on a drive-by, opening fire on a house where rival gang members lived. One evening, when he was walking down a sidewalk with one of his homies, one of them shot a passerby in the face. Edwin and his homies then calmly strolled over to Jack in the Box to eat some burgers. It was like I had no conscience, he said. I didn't value human life. But here's the real story. Just after midnight on September 21st, 1991, a San Antonio school teacher named Curtis Edwards was found sprawled across the front seat of a taxi that he drove part-time at night to earn extra money. He had been shot point blank in the back of the head. It was a gruesome scene. Blood and bits of brain matter were scattered throughout the car. Allegedly, the kid had gotten the taxi with his older homie and faked like he was catching a ride. When the cab took off, he pulled out a revolver and demanded that Edwards gave up the cash. When Edwards refused to give up the cash, Edwin shot him in the back of the head. A few days later, police announced that they had made an arrest in the case. Edwards' killer, they said, was a 12-year-old boy named Edwin D. Brown. Apparently, investigators said Edwin had shot Edwards while attempting to rob him. At the police department, a photographer from the San Antonio Express News Network took a photo of Edwin as he was being escorted down the hallway by a uniformed officer and a detective. Edwin, who was just 4 feet high and 8 inches tall and 79 pounds, was wearing a t-shirt, basketball shorts, and unlaced high-top tennis shoes. His face was peeking out of a suit coat that the detective had thrown over his head in hopes of protecting his identity. People were stunned. Such a small child could have committed such a cold-blooded killing. Edwin was found guilty and sentenced to 40 years in prison. Okay, he's still in prison to this day. And to all my CALI Wixers out there, you might be shocked. Like, how you get 40 years old? He's just 12 years old. And he's still in jail. Bro, what we get away with in California, bro, Texas don't tolerate that. When they say 40, boy, you gonna do 40. Boy, you gonna do at least 39. They not playing with you out there, bro. So, y'all count your blessings out there in Cali, bro. Real talk. All right, now we going over to Arkansas. Shouts out to my nigga, Grimy Blue, cause you thought I forgot about you, huh, homie? Nah, cuz, I told you I got you, Hovey. Here we go. The 2-3 neighborhood Wolf Street Crips in Little Rock, Arkansas originally came from the 5-9 East Coast neighborhood Crips in L.A. One of the homies from the land, L.A. Bo, came out to Arkansas and turned the hood on, and one of they big homies named Big C wanted to branch off and make their own set. And they gave the Little Rock homies the okay. And then boom, the 23rd neighborhood Wolf Street Crips was born. My boy Grimy Blue let me know they got a hood in Texas, which his uncles took over there, and they got another set in Baltimore. Alright, so this hood is pretty much cool with the East Coasters in Arkansas, which includes 6-9 and 6 Deuce East Coast Crip. And I'm hearing some beautiful news that they got Compton Crips out there too. Yep, you heard me right. They got Southside Compton Crips and 165th Street Nutty Block Compton Crips out there. Yeah. And it's also 87 Kitchen Crips down there too. Y'all got 2 C's out there too, huh? I might come out there and rock with y'all, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing here. You know, it's undeniable, bro. This is dope right here. A popular YouTuber named NAC Snipe is from this hood. You know, I remember him. I'm a while back, I seen him like reviewing some videos on YouTube. I'm not sure which one, but I remember he had the long hair, and I remember Lil Homie, yeah. He's from this hood, and also a former leader of the Wolf Street Crips, 23rd Street neighborhood, named Frog, was sentenced to 15 years for marijuana and weed charges. In 2017, officers paid him a visit as he was on active supervision, and the Wolf Street Crips was already under investigation, and that's when it went down. See, on this part, I'm not trying to say too much, because you know how it is with the people, but I'ma just say free the OG, much love. Y'all keep it cracking, man. It's all love. Alright, we going up to Illinois now, Chicago. The Outlaw Loco Bloods. Alright, in the 1970s, Southeast Asian immigrants migrated to the area of Argyle Street between Leland and Sheridan. Excuse me if I messed the names up. In the year 1987, under the Vietnamese Amerasian, which is America in Asian, Amerasian Homecoming Act, the United States government continued to settle Vietnamese refugees that were from re-education camp detainees and Amerasians. As young Vietnamese teenagers came to Uptown, they soon ran into gangs like the Brazzers, Black Gangster Disciples, and other gangs affiliated with the folks. Vietnamese teens clashed with the folks and were often bullied by them. And if you know, like I know, even in LA, them Asians don't play. They gonna click up and they gonna take you down, you know? Them Asians ain't no punks, man. I respect they mind, man. So in Chicago, there's mostly GDs and BDs and Latin Kings and other miscellaneous gangs that don't really adhere to the traditional California street politics of Bloods and Crips. But thanks to my boy, I recently found out that there's one Cambodian blood hood out in Chicago called the Outlaw Loco Bloods. As you may be able to tell, this hood has ties to the Oriental Lazy Bloods in LA, which has sets in places like the East Side Low Bottoms on 52nd Street and Chinatown. The Locos are still active to this day. We going up to the east now, to the East Coast. Here's something you might find interesting, man. In Gardena, California, the PAYBACC Crips and the Gardena 13 or 13, you know, they tight-knit, they close, as you might have seen on the hood vlogs. But did you know, in New York, the PAYBACC Crips out there and the MS-13 are really cool? Here's a picture, okay? Interesting, huh? Now, last but not least, shouts out to my boy Jesse James. He sent me some pictures of the Playboy Gangster Crips in different cities, and here they go. Alright, that's going to conclude today's episode of Just Like Cali, man. I'm really loving these episodes, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, man. I got some Get It a Gas coming out. Make sure you guys stay tuned, man. I'm out of here. Wiggins!